Alright, so here we are. This is a 1997 International 4700, and it needs kingpins in the front. They are pretty bad. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but it yeah, all that plate right there is in just the kingpin, so we are gonna replace them. I've already got some of my nut protectors off, nut covers, but right back here, it's the pin that runs through there. It's I already done the other side, and it's took me 3 days to get the one side done, but where I messed up was I didn't use any heat. So you definitely have to have a set of torches if you're going to do this. In the paperwork it actually says not to use any heat, and I'll show you what they send you with the kingpins, which if I'd have known better, which I should have, I would have just used heat to begin with instead of messing around. But it says, let's see, it says a lot of things. Yeah, see, no heat on axle. Hammer out kingpin, no heat on axle. This can be difficult if severely worn. 3 days is pretty difficult, but like I said, I wasn't using heat. Just use some heat that, which I'll show you here in a minute once we get the wheel and stuff off. But what you got to heat isn't the axle itself. Well, I mean, it is, but it's these wedge pins, and I'll show you. But give me just a second. We'll get this wheel off, and we'll start disassembling some stuff, and I'll show you the process and what tools you're gonna need and all that, and we'll get going. All right, so I got the wheel off. It took me a little bit longer than I thought, but a good Milwaukee impact will get them off most of the time. Had to heat one of the lug nuts up, just one. So next be getting your brakes off, which is this bolt here, which these are kind of weird. It kind of just wedges in there, this piece does, but I mean, you'll be able to figure it out. It's not too, if you know anything, then you won't have any problems. Front brakes on this thing looks pretty good. But yeah, it'll be caliper and this nut here, which holds the line, and then the caliper bracket is actually made on, it's a part of like the spindle, I guess. I don't know, I'll just have to show you. I don't know, I guess it, yeah, it's bolted onto the spindle. That's what it is. Well, it is the spindle, because the spindle actually comes out here. But I mean, you'll have to take all that off too. This cap's got to come off. Yeah, it's not too hard. You just start taking stuff off, you'll be fine. All right, took me about 5 minutes. I got the caliper and this cover off, and this bolt or nut. This nut right here is an 11 or a 3/8. I don't know. Most of the stuff on these trucks is standard, so you need to have a standard tool set. You can use metric stuff, doesn't matter really. Just don't be rounding shit off. And this bolt that retains the caliper is a 1/4 inch drive hex. Got that somewhere. It's on the back of the truck, but this retaining nut right here. It's a 1/4" hex, and I used an 11 on this, which is fine. And then these bolts here are 13s, which is fine to use. Then you got to take this off, take your bearing out. Make sure you keep all this shit clean. Now, last time I done this on the other side, I got a bunch of grass and mud and dirt and gravel in my bearings. I had to clean them all out and everything. Which, if you're gonna take this apart, if the grease looks like this, if it's black and just nasty looking, just clean it out. Get you some new grease and start over. It'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not that much money. Go get you a $10 can of grease and put some in there. Don't put it back together like this. Nasty. But yeah, so next thing is take the bearing out, take the hub off, and go from there. Alright, so I got the hub off. Now the hub has got a seal back here. It's just a grease seal, but you need to be very careful and just wiggle it off ever so slightly, because you will break this piece of shit, and then you have to get another one. Not a big deal, but the parts store is probably not going to carry this locally, so be careful with it. Now, second, you need to take off the so I was wrong. This is just a caliper bracket. It bolts on with these 8 bolts and nuts back here. You'll have to hold this, and they're 19s. Yeah, 19's what works. Maybe an 18. I don't know. I'm trying 18. So 18 or 19, either one. But you'll have to hold these nuts back here. When I was trying to take it off on the other side, I didn't know that, and it was just spinning. And I was like, oh god, it's stripped. But no, it's got nuts back here. So just be aware of that and take it loose. You'll be fine. Alright, so I got the caliper bracket plate off of this. And then what you'll have to do next is you'll have to take the top plate off, which I already took off. It's just the grease search fitting plate. And there's one on the bottom too. And then the hard part, this is the part I talked about at the beginning, is these pins. And there's one here, and it's got a nut on it, a retaining nut. You just take the nut off in the washer, and you know, but you'll have to heat these up. Now, I got lucky the first time, and this bottom one came out on the other side, but I doubt you'll be as lucky, and I doubt I'll be lucky over here. And there's also one goes the opposite direction at the top, and it's kind of hid. It's usually under grease and dirt and stuff like that, but you can get it out. You just got to be persistent. So it goes, you can see here, it's got kind of like there's a hole. Well, that's the wedge part. It comes out this direction, and then this one goes out that direction. So that's what we're going to work on next. We're going to heat them up to like lava temperature and then beat them out. All right, so there you have it. Here's one pin with the bolt head, and they're real hot, so just leave them laying in the gravels. But you melt the side, the opposite side, like the side where it's supposed to come out, you melt it, because that's the side that's wedged in that hole. And then make sure you only heat the pin. This top one, like I said, it's the harder one to get. I had to melt it pretty good. It took me about, I don't know, 3 days less to get this one out than I did the other side, because I used a torch with some heat. And I'm talking not you, because I went and got a map torch, you know, from the Tractor Supply. That won't work. You need the big boy. You're gonna have to find somebody that's got some of these, or you know, buy some, which is, I had to loan these off of my wife's father, my father-in-law, and he don't care if I use them, but if you know somebody that's got a set of real torches, it'll make this job 1000% easier. So just go ahead and grab you some, melt them out, and I wish I could have got a video of it, but you just, like I said, you just melt the back side of it, not the side you're punching out. So this pin comes out, this top pin comes out this way, so I melted this side, and then you punch it from the other side out, and then same thing with the bottom one, but it goes the other way, so melt the opposite side. And then the Kingpin, you just punch it out and you're good to go. Good to go. Put your new one in, which I'll show you the process of how to put that one in here in a minute. When I get everything ready, I'm gonna get this one out. You punch it down, and to get it out, they're not usually that bad. It's just when stuff got grease, but if yours is dry, you may have some trouble. You might want to just get on your knees and pray if yours is dry. If yours ain't got no tacky grease left in it, you may have some trouble. But yeah, that's that. I'm gonna get this one out of here, and I'll get back to you. Alright, well, there's an airport not far from my house. But back to the project here. I got the Kingpin out. Now it did give me some fight. It took me about, I don't know, 20 minutes, but I didn't use any heat to get the Kingpin out. Now I have seen people have to use heat to get them out, but this one come out without a fight. Or the other one on the other side, it just fucking pretty much fell out, but the bushings were gone on that side. This side, it's a little bit dry in the middle, which it should be. The middle of the Kingpin doesn't actually get any grease. It's stable in there, and then the top is what turns. You know, the top is what turns. The top and the bottom of the Kingpin is what actually turns, and there's bushings in here, and you'll have to knock these old bushings out, so you have to find something the right size. I use a socket. I have to find that. I don't remember what size it is, but I use a socket and it works fine. Just use the back half of it, and there's a top hat looking thing. It goes on the bottom, and it goes in there like that. And then at the top of this right here, there's some shims. Now this one doesn't look like it has any. And if it does, they're just completely wore out. But you're gonna have to put those shims back, and they're a pain in the ass to get in there without crushing them, because they're paper thin shims. I mean, they are 1,000 maybe. I don't know, but they need to go in there, and that keeps it from having up and down play, not like in and out, not camber play, but I don't know, up and down play. This one did have up and down play, so I think those shims are completely wore out. But I'm gonna get this thing completely cleaned up, get these old bushings out, and start my process going back together, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute. All right, got the spindle off, got the holes nice and clean. You don't want no trash or nothing in there. I cleaned them off with my wire wheel and some air, and it looks pretty good. And you also want to make sure that your holes are not egg-shaped. So just make sure they look good. I had a spot right here where I mislicked, but you can just take a round file, you know, like a chainsaw file, and deburr the edge of it. Just get in there and real lightly, you know, give it some pressure, but you know, just get that burr off of there, because that's got to seal up, and you'll be all right. And then we're going to reassemble, throw some grease in this hole, you know, light coat, and that way it's easy to go. Now remember, this top hat goes right here, and then your shims go right here. So you'll have to get the pin in so far, slide this in there, beat it on up, and get it in so far, and then stick the other shims in if you can. I have a little trouble doing it, but stick your shims in here. This top hat, and it goes like this. If you flip it like this, you won't get no grease in where it's supposed to be. It needs to go like this with the fatter part down. Let me show you. Let me show you. You can see it here. This part down like that. That's how it goes. If you flip it the other way, you won't get no grease into your bearings right here where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna stick it back together. I'll show you when it's done. So I've got this thing a lot of the way back together. I got the spindle back on. I forgot to show you guys, but you just put it on there, put the top hat in there, and those shims. The shims are, I put 2 of them in the top, but you can't see them, but they're in there. These caps, you got to clean them off. Your kit should come with a new O-ring and grease certs and pins. The wedge pins should come with all of that stuff. This is what they look like. Now, this kit does come with some other I don't know what they are exactly. They're not a bush or anything. They almost look like another O-ring, but they have a hard outside, like a metal outer ring. And I haven't found anywhere that they should go. None of the, I think it's probably for like a different application, maybe a 4900 international or something like that. A little bit different application, but you don't need that. You just need these O-rings, the shims, the top hats, and of course the bushings that go in the housings. And I didn't show you, but I beat these old bushings out. Like I said, I just use a socket on a extension like this. Just flip it around. I think I use this size, which is 1 1/16. This is Poplar Mechanics. It's my dad's old set, but just find something that fits it good. And they have to go in, the bushings have to go in from the bottoms. So like this bushing that's in this part of the spindle here goes in this way. And then this one that's in this part of the spindle goes in that way. And you have to, there's a gap at the bottom, but you can see, but the if I can get a good view here, but that bushing, if you tap it in from the other side, it's directly on with the pin, the Kingpin. So that's how that's done. You just stick it all back together and you're good to go. It's just reverse order from here. Not really much to it. All right. RDA Mechanics out.